Step back in time with me to a city of stark contrasts, a place of dazzling wealth and desperate poverty, of groundbreaking innovation and old-world grit. We're heading to New York City, and the year is 1880. This isn't just a trip into the past. It's an exploration of the year that truly forged the metropolis we know today. Picture this. You're standing on a cobblestone street. The air is thick with the smell of coal smoke, roasting chestnuts from a street vendor, and the unmistakable scent of the harbor. The sound is a constant symphony, the clatter of countless horse-drawn carriages, the distant bellow of a steamship horn, the clang of a blacksmith's hammer, and the cries of newsboys shouting headlines on every corner. This was the soundtrack of 1880's New York, a city teeming with nearly 2 million souls, and growing faster than anyone could have imagined. So, what was driving this explosive growth? The simple answer is opportunity. The Gilded Age was in full swing. Industrial giants, like the Vanderbilts, the Astors, and the Carnegies, were building empires of steel, railroads, and finance. Their opulent mansions, known as Millionaire's Row, were rising along Fifth Avenue, each one more extravagant than the last. These were palaces of marble and gold, hosting lavish balls that were the talk of the town, showcasing a level of wealth that was simply unimaginable for most. But just a few blocks away, a completely different reality existed. Let's wander down to the Lower East Side. Here, the streets are narrow, and towering tenement buildings block out the sun. This is the heart of immigrant New York. Waves of people, primarily from Ireland, Germany, and increasingly from Italy and Eastern Europe, were pouring into the city, seeking refuge and a new beginning. They crammed into tiny, poorly ventilated apartments, often with no running water or sanitation. For them, the American dream wasn't about mansions. It was about survival. It was about finding work in the city's factories, sweatshops, or on the docks, earning just enough to feed their families and hold on to the hope for a better future. The contrast was staggering, a world of horse-drawn carriages and private clubs existing alongside a world of pushcarts and shared struggles. One of the most incredible sights in 1880 would have been the Brooklyn Bridge, nearing completion. For years, it had been a colossal skeleton of stone and steel, stretching across the East River. It was an engineering marvel, a symbol of human ambition and ingenuity. People would stop and stare, marveling at the two massive Gothic towers. Its chief engineer, Washington Roebling, famously supervised its final stages from his apartment window after being struck by decompression sickness. The bridge wasn't just a connection between two cities. It was a powerful statement about New York's unstoppable drive to build, to innovate, and to connect. And what about getting around this bustling city? Forget the subway. It hadn't been built yet. The most futuristic form of transport was the elevated train, or These steam-powered trains thundered along on iron tracks, built high above the avenues, showering the streets below with sparks and cinders. It was noisy, dirty, but revolutionary. For the first time, people could travel quickly from the southern tip of Manhattan all the way up to Harlem, opening up the city like never before. Down on the streets, a chaotic ballet of horse-drawn omnibuses, private carriages, and delivery wagons fought for space. Traffic jams, even then, were a daily frustration. Now, let's talk about a new kind of light that was beginning to flicker in the city. Just a year earlier, in 1879, Thomas Edison had perfected his incandescent light bulb. By 1880, his name was on everyone's lips. He was in the process of building the Pearl Street Station, the world's first central power plant, right in the heart of the financial district. While gas lamps still cast a flickering, romantic glow over most of the city's streets and homes, the dawn of the electric age was here. Imagine the wonder of seeing a room illuminated not by flame, but by a steady, brilliant electric light for the very first time. It felt like magic, a glimpse into a brighter, more modern future. But life wasn't all work and industry. New Yorkers in 1880 knew how to have fun. For the wealthy, it meant a night at the opera, at the Academy of Music, or a high society dinner. For the working class, entertainment was found in the raucous beer halls of the Bowery, the thrilling melodrama of a vaudeville theater, or a Sunday afternoon stroll in the newly established Central Park. Designed as an escape from the urban chaos, the park was a democratic space where people from all walks of life could enjoy nature, go boating on the lake, or simply relax on the grass. Another popular destination was Coney Island. A short steamship or train ride away, it was a seaside escape, a place of wild new amusements, grand hotels, and the simple pleasure of a day at the beach. Of course, this rapidly growing city had its dark side. Crime was a serious problem. With gangs controlling certain neighborhoods, the city's government was notoriously corrupt, under the influence of the political machine known as Tammany Hall, and public health was a constant battle. Without modern sanitation, diseases could spread quickly through the overcrowded tenements. But there were also people fighting for change. Jacob Riis, a journalist and photographer, was just beginning his work, using the new technology of flash photography to expose the shocking conditions of the slums to the wider world. His work would eventually spark major social reforms. So, as we look back at New York in 1880, we see a city on the cusp of modernity. It was a place of incredible energy, a crucible where millions of lives, dreams, and cultures were being mixed together. It was the year the foundation was laid for the iconic skyline we see today. The innovations in technology, the challenges of immigration, the stark divide between rich and poor, these were the forces that shaped not just New York, but modern America itself. T'esprit of 18 died, relentless drive, that resilience, that constant reinvention is still alive in the city's streets today. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what year or city you'd like to visit next. See you in the next one.